Hello and welcome to this video where we are at the start of a very exciting week, because today I'm heading to the Isle of Mull for a full week of photography. Now, I did most of my travelling up yesterday, where I travelled here to the boatyard, which is a very convenient half an hour south of Oban, where I'm going to be getting the ferry this morning. So I did a bit of car camping last night and I'm all packed up now and ready to start the day. Now, my ferry is not actually until 11:30 and it is about 7:30 now, so I've got some time before I need to get there, but I'm going to go and get some supplies in Oban, get some breakfast and then head over to get the ferry, and maybe if I'm early enough they might stick me on an earlier one so I can have even more time on the Isle of Mull before I have to check in at our house for the week. Now, before driving up, I did have a bit of an engine scare with this car, in that the check engine light came on like at the beginning of this week, which is not ideal, but I managed to get it looked at the garage, and he said it was an O2 sensor, so it wasn't a problem, and then he'll sort it out at a later date. But we did manage to clear the fault. However, this morning said fault has come back on, so I'm hoping, well, I say said fault, it's still the check engine light, so I'm assuming it is the same sensor that's having a bit of a flap. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the car will survive the week and I can be able to get home and not have any issues. I have done my Tesco's run for some supplies for whilst I'm on the Isle of Mull, but I have also stopped and got myself some breakfast. So for those of you who are travelling to Oban, the Oban filling station with the Londis does like breakfast rolls until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I've gone and got myself sausage and hash brown roll for breakfast, which I'm very much looking forward to. So it's now 9:30, so I've had my breakfast, I've wasted some time in the car, and what I'm going to do is head over to the ferry terminal now. Now, I'm about an hour early for the check-in time for my ferry, but it might be that they can check me in and maybe get me on an earlier ferry potentially. Either way, I'm happy just to wait over that way and yeah, get this day on the road. How you doing?
Good, yeah. What sail you booked on?
I'm not booked on till the 11:25.
Right, you want to try your luck on standby for this one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind.
Okay, so you go into lane 4, there's any space.
Lane 4.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. We have gone straight into the standby lane. There are 4 cars in front of us and 4 buses have just got on, so I'm not too sure if we'll be able to get on this one, but we might. My plan when I get there, I've got all day, so I've not actually had a car on the Isle of Mull. We've been there a few times, but on the boat, so we're quite limited to where we can actually go. So I'm very keen to explore around today and yeah, just get to places where I've not been able to get to. There is a waterfall that goes straight out to the sea, which I am pretty excited to hopefully see, and yeah, just enjoy my time on my free day until I can go and check into where we're staying. We've got on, I forgot to film the first bit, but we're on. Once on board the ferry, I went for a bit of an explore. It was an absolutely glorious day, so it was very crowded out on the top deck, but still great to feel the wind in my hair. I went to find a bit of a quieter area before heading back inside out of the wind, where I met up with my fellow photographer Ali and her husband Gordon, who were booked on the same trip as me. So ferry crossing is done. Ali was on the same ferry as me, which is pretty cool. So I got to meet up with her and meet her husband Gordon, and yeah, it was a nice smooth crossing, incredibly windy outside, but yeah, absolutely brilliant, and weather's great. So I'm now heading off to my first port of call for today, and we're going to this waterfall that comes out onto the sea. I think it's called Ease Falls, and I apologise to Scotland for pronouncing that wrong. I am sure I have done, but yeah, I'm very excited for my little adventure today. So it has been an absolutely spectacular drive over to this part of the Isle of Mull. Like I said, I've never had a car on the Isle of Mull, so I'm seeing parts of it today that I've never seen, and I can just turn this corner and I can see the waterfall going straight out to sea, which is so cool. So I'm hoping that you can walk down to it, but I also think there's some walks that you can go up above it to see some of the higher falls, which is going to be pretty cool. So, just parked up at the car park. The sun has come back out, which is nice, because it did come in to rain a bit earlier. We're already pretty much at the waterfall here, or the upper part of it. But yeah, pretty cool. And then it goes down under the bridge, so we'll go down there as well. The question is, do I risk walking this bit or not? We'll have a look, shall we? No, we won't. I'm not going to risk that. I tell you what, I don't want to fall and break my leg. Haven't even got to where we're staying yet. It's not exactly the biggest hike to get to this waterfall, but I think the bottom side, the lower half of this waterfall, is what I want to see if I can. I don't think you can get down to the bottom looking on the maps, but we can have a look, see how far we can get and what we can see from this side, because it's quite the drop off, it looks like. I was thinking maybe I could put the drone out, because I have brought it with me on this trip, but feeling what the wind's like here, I don't think, oh wow, I don't think that the little Mini 2 is going to be up for it in this wind, I'm afraid. Now what an awesome waterfall that is. Let's see if we can go out along this trail a bit further, because it does drop down into the sea next, which is what we can see from the road. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see it. We'll find out when we get to the edge here. Oh, my eyes are watering. Proper drops off the edge of the world there, doesn't it? Okay, right. I'm going to take my hat off. I'm not going to be able to see it, but you guys are going to be able to see this. Hold on. Hat is off. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to fly the drone in this. Right. Full extension. Hope he likes the view. Well, that is one very awesome waterfall. It's a shame I can't get down to the bottom, because I think that would be where, if I was going to take a picture, you'd want to get it from, or an aerial one. What we're going to do is just going to follow this bit of track back, and then we'll get back to the car and figure out. Ah, look, we're down at the bottom of this second part. We're down under the bridge. So yeah, we're going to have a look here, then have a look on the maps and figure out where our next stop on this little jolly takes us. The thing I need to do is change the fitting into this stick. I've been using it with the Osmo, which obviously is not a 360, and it doesn't have a problem, but because this has got, I don't know, I think I just need to change the screw for a thinner one, and I'm pretty sure I got one somewhere in the bag, but where in the bag, and if I can even get to it, is the question. But we're going to try, because I'm actually going to have this like little bolt thing in all the clips, which is not ideal. So the thing that I could see in the pictures was actually this little sticker. It's got a little blue bit on the end, so it was that. So that's annoying. However, not the end of the world, at least. So that's fine, we can put that in there. Now I've decided for my next stop, I'm going to actually drive another half an hour up the coast, and I'm going to go to Calgary, because the beach there is meant to be amazing, and I just want to go and see it, really. So that's our next stop on my whistle stop tour of the Isle of Mull. This is quite the viewpoint. Let's have a look. I'll take you outside. Just amazing. Just your standard cows on the road scenario. Woo! Oh, it's quite tight, that. Another corner, another spectacular view. So I'm pretty sure I'm coming up now to Calgary. Everything about Scotland, it's so spectacular, and being able to take my car onto Mull and have a good explore around, it's just a dream. I know it's not like it's a hard thing to do, but you know, we've come up here quite a few times on the boat, and we've not been able to see this side of Mull, because whenever we've come up, the wind's always been against us, so we've not really been able to explore this west side of Mull. We've always gone up round the east and then stayed up at Tobermory. So having changed gear, the best time. So we're just coming up now on Calgary and I can see the beach and it is absolutely stunning. We're now making our way on to the white sands of Calgary Beach. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. The only thing that would make this better was if Tim and Skylar were here, because she would absolutely love this beach. And it's going to come into rain, so we might have to do a quick walk of the beach and then evacuate to the car. But just brilliant. So I ended up having lunch in the car because the rain came in pretty heavy. So the time is 2:45. I think it's going to take me about an hour. Well, the sat nav says an hour. So by the time I add in stops to take photos and just take in everything that I'm seeing, it's probably going to take longer than that to actually get down to where we're staying. So I put the route into the sat nav. So we're not going to go back the way we came. We're going to continue up this road a bit and then we're going to go over the top, which I am very much looking forward to. Oh yeah, and also my car fault has gone, so it is very much an intermittent problem with that sensor. Ooh, slippery feet. Oh, I think I turned out the wrong way. Where do I go? The other way. So whilst we make our way across the Isle of Mull, it might be a good time to actually tell you what I am doing here. So if you've been with the channel and following the channel for a while, then last February I went for my first ever solo holiday and my first photography dedicated holiday, and I went to the Cairngorms in Scotland and I went on a group sort of holiday hosted by Carl Thomas, and it's the same Carl that's hosting this one as well, but we are on the Isle of Mull this time for the week and I can't say how excited I am for this week. Now the big hitter that everyone is after is the otter. I've come so close to getting a otter photo this year. I had a couple of tries earlier when Tim and I were on our own little sailing trip, but they were so far away, so I'm hoping with this trip we are going to be getting some good photos. Now Ali, who I mentioned before, she's done this trip before. She had got an absolutely spectacular photo of some otters and it actually won a highly commended award at, I think, the British Wildlife Photography Awards this year, so fingers crossed we can get one of those. Some other big hitters for this trip are going to be the eagles. So we're going to be going on a boat trip, hopefully, with Mull Charters to see the white-tailed eagles. So I am very much looking forward to that day. And then also, as well as the otters and the eagles, we're hoping to see some stags, some seals and stuff like that as well. So it's just going to be an amazing week taking photos and hanging out with other people that like cameras. What's this kid doing? I get the feeling we might be going into deer country. That we've just left it. I'm never sure what side of the fence the deer is supposed to be on. I've arrived! Very excited so I can see Carl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, get myself sorted, and then I'll come back to you and we'll go from there. So I thought we should probably go over what gear I have brought with me on this trip, and it equates to pretty much all my gear. So I have the, what should we start with, lenses? The 24 to 70 f2.8 GM2. I'm not too sure how much I'm going to use this, but if we do landscapes and stuff like that, this is what I'm going to be using for that. And we might get lucky and get some clear nights, and maybe I can go and do some sort of astro stuff. I've then got my trusty 70 to 200 f2.8, again the Mark II version. That is my favourite lens, so if we get a chance to use this, then I will be using that, because like I said, it's my favourite, and the autofocus on this is just amazing. And then we have the workhorse 200 to 600, and I'm on the Sony A7 IV as well. So that's all my main photography gear. Now, when it comes to video, I'm currently on the Osmo Action 5. I've been using that quite a lot. I really like that, but I've also picked myself up an upgrade. I've now got the Insta360 X5. Now, I have been using the X3 for quite a while. However, that met its demise quite recently, and I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get it repaired and back to me in time for this trip. So I opted to just go and get the X5. So I'm interested to see what the difference is between them, because it is a couple generations newer. This one's 8K, the other one is 4. So yeah, pretty excited to see the footage that comes out with that, and it's going to make things much easier. I've bought a mount, so basically when we're doing our boat day, or if we're not going to need the tripods, I can take that off, and basically I'm going to mount my 360 straight onto the tripod collar, or the tripod foot even, and hopefully that will get a bit of a better angle. And then accessories, I've got my Sirui binoculars that you would have seen in some other videos that I've been using them in, and then also I have bought all the tripods, but I brought this with me. I'm not too sure what the situation is with bringing tripods and stuff out when we're going to see the otters, so for as a backup to that, bring this. You may have seen this in my black grouse video. I have emptied some of the polystyrene that was in it, so it's not as absolutely massive as what it was. We're probably not going to be shooting from the car, but this is nice and lightweight, and with the handles I can just strap that to my bag. So bag wise, I am using the Shimoda Action X25. Now I've had this for a while and I'm really enjoying using it, and I've got the technical straps on it. Now I will do a bit of a deep dive into this bag in a future video, but yeah, that's what I'm going to be housing all this stuff in this week. Yeah, so I think that's going to about do it for this video. I know we haven't actually taken any proper photos yet, but I feel that this is a good place to end this startup, this introduction, as you will, to my Isle of Mull trip. Like I said, I'm super excited for it, and I'm excited to see what videos I can sort of make out of this trip and share with you guys. So if you are interested, please tag along and make sure you subscribe so you're notified when the next video comes out, and I shall see you in the next one. There's absolutely no otter sightings. I'm so happy.